Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're watching this.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias, how they say. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here and taking this time to be here on our live. Truly appreciate it.
Uh, you guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
And
What's
that's a
up,
blessing.
Charles? How you doing,
Nothing
brother?
much. Well, Henry, I'm here. Thank God. I'm very blessed. Blessed to be alive. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be doing this class with you. Always look forward to doing these lives with you. I always have a good time. Thank you for
Same
being a
here.
brother.
Same
I
here.
appreciate
Same
it.
here. Same here. And these are cool. I like these classes, man, because we're here for you guys. We're here for the vets. We have the next 60 minutes. You guys can ask us anything. Well, not anything, but you know, ask us a whole bunch of questions regarding your journey of your journey to get exactly what you deserve as far as VA disability compensation. So yeah, man, we're excited. Can't wait. Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Awesome. Well, let's put a shout out there and basically tell us what branch you served, from what year to what year. Please put in the chat. Feel free. And are you elite member and are you still? And if you're not, well, thank you for coming and hopefully you will be an elite member. And what made you, more or less come and seek us? So that would be a great to start off.
Yeah, and where in the world are you guys tuning in from?
Exactly.
I know
That's
usually we get a few folks from all around the U.S., but I always like to see those that
overseas.
are overseas and all that. That's always pretty cool. But a little bit about me. Coach Henry, I've been a coach here for we just passed the 24-month mark. Um, we've been here for 2 years and some change already, man. Wow, it feels like the other day.
Right.
But I've been a client of VACI since I think I saw the other day the welcome email from Brian. I think it was March of 2020. I remember I had COVID. I was sitting in my room and I was like, man, what is this VA Claims Insider about? But that was the best decision I ever made, man. Signing up. I joined a month before 9/11, United States Army. Did 4 years, got injured in Iraq, spent many years fighting the VA, and then I was stuck. And again, just saw a video from Brian, started applying some of his knowledge on my own. I did it, and it took me but so far. And then I said, you know what? I need guidance. I need someone to help me. Um, Luckily, I was partnered up with a great coach. He helped me through the process, and last last summer I hit the Hundo Club.
What a blessing.
P&T. Super excited, man.
That's awesome. Well, I'm still going through my journey, but let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Charles Rosario. Born in New York, raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Rio Piedra. Also been living most of my life in Maryland. I joined the United States Air Force in 1997. Was out in '01. Took a pause. Joined the Army National Guard in '03. Ended up leaving out or exiting out in '06 to '07. Around that time, my MOS was military intelligence. Transferred over my MOS from jet engine mechanics, 68 Bravo, and of course, cross trained to 11 Bravo as well. Participated in Allied Force, Operation Allied Force, uh, also Global War on Terrorism in that aspect. And the same thing, I ended up coming here in a different circumstance. Basically, somebody that actually works here in the company got me hip to what is going on, and it's been an amazing journey. I'll be quite
Yeah.
honest, internally as well as externally, and actually going through the VA as well. So I'm glad to have all this support from my coworkers as well as you veterans that tune in. That allows us to be motivated and keep in the fight and still have that
Mhm.
sense of brotherhood. And on top of that, to serve. That is, for me, that is the most important thing is to serve, and so forth. So I truly appreciate it for everybody being here. And that's a little bit about myself in that aspect. So Am I still an elite member? Absolutely so. And that's basically why I'm here, to be able to impart that knowledge and to help you guys through this journey as well.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, if you guys would like, just type in the chat. I mean, Charles and I can talk for a whole hour. We'll definitely fill in the gaps, but it's always good to it's always good to see who's in and you know who's tuning in at the moment.
Hmm.
I think
And
I see Mike Army 68 to 70. Uh, Craig, been a police officer for 30 years. Footback.
hey,
Okay, you got it all.
while you do that, Henry, I'm gonna read the disclaimer real quick. So then that way we can get that out the way. Okay. So in this particular aspect, I'm going to let you know about this program. This disclaimer is we are not accredited agents, VSOs, or attorneys, or any other entity recognized by the Department of Veteran Affairs, and we are not affiliated with the VA in any way. VA Claims Insider is an educational based coaching and consulting company for disabled veterans exploring eligibility for increased VA disability benefits and who wish to learn more about the process. Okay, the VA Claims Insider also connects veterans with vetted independent medical professionals in our preferred provider network or medical examinations and independent medical opinions called IMOs for a wide range of disability conditions. Okay, and with that being said, I know that Henry wanted to go in to that topic, but I want to be able to actually maybe open up a little bit of educational and information in that aspect. So then that way it can allow you to get a better grasp of how the process works, especially with us as VA Claims Insider.
Yeah,
Do you want to hit off the SEM process and kind of explain a little bit on that aspect?
yeah. I just wanted to shout. I wanted to shout a few people out because they're in the chat, just bringing this up. But SEM, listen, that is the blueprint. That is the secret sauce. That is exactly what we live by. That's the philosophy here. Strategy, right? You got to strategize. You got to know how to get to where you're going. Um, well, it's like planning it, right? If you fail to plan to fail. So strategy, right? Let's sit down. Let's see where we're at, where we're gonna go. Education, know um, know how to if understand the claim that you're trying to go for. What is the percentage? How does the VA rate whatever it is you're trying to go for? And then lastly, medical evidence. If you don't have medical evidence, just understand your claim is like 99% gonna fail. Medical evidence wins claims is usually our motto around here. So strategy, education, medical evidence, the three keys to every successful claim. uh yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Basically, strategy is very important. And you need to be able to have a strategy and enable in order to be able to move forward. But the
Yeah.
education is the biggest aspect. If you're not familiarized with your own case, what your symptoms are, what you're going through, how does it get filed appropriately? What is a fully developed claim? It's kind of like what Henry said. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail in this process, in that aspect. So that's the reason why we're here, to educate you in the process. So then that way you have a full grasp on how to navigate your claim, and also ultimately is that you can get the health care that you need while you go through this process. And a lot of time as veterans, what we do not end up doing is caring for ourselves. So that is very important to have the SEM process, because you have to have the strategy, the education behind it, and of course the medical evidence to back up the claim that you're going for. So extremely
Yeah.
important in that aspect. Very, very relevant.
All right. Well, let's hit some of this chat. Again, I just want to shout everybody out. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we have United States Air Force. I'm going to count these out: Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. Shout out to the Coast Guard because you don't really see many of those guys here. But I love when I get to chat with my fellow Coast Guard members. USMC, let's go. Marine, 101st Airborne, Air Force, Army, let's go. I know we had a vet here that They're working with Chris Faria. That's the homie. Awesome. Yeah, just glad to have you guys here. I'm glad that you guys are here tuning in, educating yourselves, becoming a better person. Hopefully, you guys can gain some knowledge in this conversation. If not, um, you know, call the 1-800 number so you can get a discovery call like that. You guys can get plugged into the program and just get some assistance if this is something that you're looking for on achieving.
All right. Do you want to hit one of the questions up?
Yeah, I'm just trying to filter through it now.
All right. Filter through it
I think
and
I saw one that said, "How long has this been taking for the HLR process?" The last time we checked, or the last time I checked, I think it was like 140 some odd days. But that's an average, right? I had a vet in October, I believe. She put in her HLR the 10th or 9th of October, right before Halloween. It was completed. It was done. Then I have another vet that is taking 6, 7 months. So what we like to also push here is practice patience. Pick up a hobby, pick up a book, a Netflix series, binge watch it. Join our classes, right? If you're an elite member, join our classes. That's always the best place to be plugged in, be a part of the family, be around the fire, so like that you're not isolated and dealing with your own thoughts and why is the VA taking so long? What's going on? Be around other people that are in the same
the
field as
same
you.
process. Correct.
Yeah. So you don't feel like this is alone. Why they're picking on me? When you see it, you're like, oh wow, it's not just my claim.
Yeah, not only that, if you attend the classes, especially Coffee with Coaches, which is one of my favorite classes to be in, you get that support, that you're not the only one that's going through it. And you get tidbits of information that maybe you might have not looked at in a certain perspective, but listening from it from another vet can give you a better insight, whether it's working towards your claim process or just the fact of the waiting game of just waiting. So it's very important that you attend the classes. That way you don't feel alone throughout, through this process. And it's very important because the education is the part where you get the most out of this, is to be educated in this process, to be able to do fully developed claims. And that's what we're here for. So, please feel free, get that discovery call and join us. We would love to have you in our family.
I see another one. Thomas Green turned down for the Patriot Claims Act claim 3 times. Currently sitting at 60%. What can I do? Not give up, Thomas. That's the best advice I can give you.
Mhm.
Just not give up. Not allow. If you feel like you deserve it, sit back. Again, strategy, education, medical evidence. What are you missing in those 3 pieces? Are you working with a coach? Are you enrolled um, with the elite program? Get back with your coach. Get back on the calendar. Um, don't give up. Like that's
Yeah,
the best advice I can give you. It's just not giving up. If you feel like you deserve it, let's find out how to get it.
yeah.
Maybe there's another strategy, another way to go about it.
Everything's on a case by case basis, in that aspect. Some people get approved sooner, some get later. It all depends on the case and the development of your claim. But I'll give you an example just to shout him out. He's here on the chat. Eldridge Charles Stewart. He said, Join Insider in December, received my approval yesterday. Awesome experience. So, that's coming from a vet putting it out there that, as he joined, like I said, every case is different. He was already approved. So that's something right there, a testament of actual veterans going through the process and being able to actually end up coming on top. So please reach out if you are an elite member to your coach often and frequent. Stay engaged. This is not an easy process, in that aspect. And if you're not, please join the family. Please join us. Love to help you.
Um, Hold on. I do see Cynthia's continuing. Cynthia, I think there was a comment before that. I'm just seeing the last one. I don't want to get into individual specific stuff, but denied CMP. I believe the C and U error. There wasn't an appeal after denial due to mental health. 40%. I have buddy statements which VSO ignored. VSO also told me to ignore a VA question, but not before the VA took my home, not giving up or losing hope. Cynthia, please sign up. I don't know if you are a member or not, but please sign up. Um, I understand exactly that whole losing hope aspect, and I felt that for quite some time. Um, it is tough again when you're doing this by yourself, which is why I love this organization. And I'm not saying that because I am a coach here. I'm saying it because it helped me a lot in understanding that I'm not alone in this process. I can reach out to someone that can give me some type of insight. And if my coach wasn't available, there's classes that are given every single day where you can ask a question. Again, you're not alone in this process. So please sign up if you're not. If you are signed up, contact your coach. Even if you just schedule a call with your coach just to have a conversation can go a long way. So please sign up. Uh, that's the best advice I can give you because again, I don't know your situation specifically. Um, and as far as VSOs, man, I commend them because they do a lot of great work. Obviously in every organization, there's some people that do things they're not supposed to, but they do a lot of great work. So we're not here to bash anyone. We're not here to they do a lot. They just underworked, right? and,
Awesome. Well,
and then I
let
have one of Lynn. He says I have a total of 160%, but the VA only pays me for 90. Um, yeah, Lynn. There's a calculator that we have.
Yep.
Go to VA claimsinsider.com and yeah, we have a calculator right at the top right. Plug in all your claims in there, and you'll see your actual percentage. Um, yeah, that VA math is a little bit finicky sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit hard to understand if you don't understand how it actually works. But to keep it down in simpler form, like Henry said, you can use VA Claims Insider calculator, plug in your percentages, and then it'll give you what your overall rating is. So then that way you're clear, and then you can have an idea how much more you need to go as you're going through this process. And it's
Yeah.
very important. That's the reason why we state come on in, be part of the family, and educate yourself. It's very important. So then that way you can have that that understanding on how the process works and what your goals are and what goals you need to set. Enable to be able to reach your goals that you're trying to reach. That's extremely important. Also for Richard Burton, I know you're providing a little bit more personal information in reference towards what happened in Germany. The best thing that I can tell you, I don't want to put your stuff out there on my end, but please feel free to reach out, get a discovery call, talk to a coach. They'll be able to get into the specifics of your particular case and situation and figure out what is the best route moving forward. It may not be in the route that you may think. It may be a different route that you're actually able to get a higher percentage that you probably did not look at it in that aspect or wasn't aware. So that's extremely important to please reach out to a coach, get that discovery call. So then that way we can actually give you a personalized, more or less strategy to your needs in that aspect. So not trying to not answer the question, but I want to keep, to the best of my ability, your personal information to you.
Hey, Charles, can you answer this question?
I'll do my best.
I am 100%. I guess he meant PNT, but he put TMP.
Uh-huh.
Um, do I get dental and should I report tinnitus even though I am already 100%?
Best answer, leave it alone. You're already at
No,
100% PNT, permanent and total.
you're done.
That means your conditions are static.
You're
No
done.
need to poke the bear and then have any of the evaluators reevaluate maybe other conditions that you already have.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just leave it alone. And at PNT, 100%, then yes, there's a lot of benefits that come to that. You get free dental, free vision. Also take a look at education for your children, pays for college. Also take a look if you qualify in reference towards the aspect of property tax exemption for your property taxes on your mortgage, and there's many other benefits that are there. That's the reason why it is very important to plug into the book, whereas You Serve, You Deserve by Brian Reese. It's going to give you
The
more
second
explanation.
edition.
I would say by first and second aspect. It's very important. It's very important to know more or less what are new
Uh-huh.
and so forth. So if you can, get the second edition, which is the most current. But if you can get both, I would highly suggest it and recommend it because it's going to be very important to find out what benefits are eligible to you at 100%.
Yeah.
Good
And
question.
the book is it's amazing from cover to cover. But we also have, and I don't know how Brian has the time to write all these blogs, man, but we also have a VAClaimsinsider.com/blogs, and you can literally type in anything in there. So in there is a great resource to go in, type in your state, whatever state you live in, and then you'll see that there's a blog. It's usually updated periodically on the benefits of your state, right? But the book is super, super, again, from cover to cover. It's just knowledge, 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 knowledge. Shout out to
Definitely.
Brian, man. Shout out to Brian, man. The guy that you see in those videos, he's the same guy in person, and I
Yeah.
obviously it is the same person, but it's just
No, he's
awesome.
talking about personality. He's
The
amped.
same, the same.
The same
That
guy
boom from
comes out of
coming to
nowhere.
you
You're like,
live
oh
from
man.
Austin. You're like, oh shoot, there's Brian.
Actually, he's on here today with us in the comments. So thank you, Brian. Out of my heart, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this team. Amazing, outstanding, and thank you, Sosa. Ever since we started together, we've been like brothers. So, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
All right. There's one where it says Valerie Aldino. I listen to frequencies with headphones my whole shift in Navy and in Rota, Spain, and bad trouble hearing for quite a while. Okay, there's a lot of dynamics when it comes to filing a claim. So these are things that you're going to have to talk to your coach. I don't want to be in too much in specifics, but it could be whether you've made some type of complaint while you were in service, you ended up getting treatment, which makes the path a little bit easier. There may be certain things like exiting military where there might have been some type of hearing loss that can be looked at and then try to make a claim in that aspect, or there may have to be a whole different route to try to get a higher rating. So that's something that you're going to have to talk to your coach so you can have that conversation on what is the best route for you, what is the best strategy tailored for you in this particular aspect.
I don't know where, but I'm trying to find it. But someone asked about higher level reviews versus supplemental claims or supplemental appeals. Um, to put it in the most simplest form, supplemental, it's basically you've been well, both of them are appeals, right?
Hmm.
Supplemental is you were denied with the evidence that you already submitted. So the VA says, yeah, it's not approved based on the medical evidence. So you go and get new and relevant evidence. It has to be new and relevant. Remember, personal statements are not medical evidence. So it has to be new and relevant medical evidence. That's the supplemental route. If you submitted your claim with the best medical evidence and you're like, I don't know why my claim was denied, it should have been approved, then you do what's called a higher level review. It goes to a senior rater at the VA. It's basically saying, can I speak to your supervisor? Right? But you're not allowed to submit any new evidence. It's the evidence that's already been submitted. You're just basically resubmitting your claim and having a senior rater with, who's been there for a while is going to look and fine comb your claim.
Hmm.
And then, but then with the higher level review, you also get the opportunity to speak to someone, where you do the informal conference. So it all depends on your case, but with informal conference is not like, you're a smooth talker and you
Yeah.
can like, let me convince this guy to approve my claim. No, it's based on the law, it's based on the medical evidence. Again, medical
Yeah.
evidence wins claims. Like Brian says, if you haven't been to the doctor, get your butt to the doctor.
Hmm.
Start getting the medical evidence you need, diagnoses,
Hmm.
nexus letters, whatever.
Not only
Yeah.
that, to talk about the higher level review, what a lot of people don't understand is that when you do a higher level review, that back pay will go back to that initial claim that was filed in comparison to supplemental that you're doing a new relevant evidence. You have a more of starting from the time that you filed your supplemental. Every case is different where they can look at it different if there's any duty to assist error, but that's usually how it works in that process. So it's very important that when you get a denial, to really take a look at your denial letter, because that's going to be a roadmap for the veteran as well as us coaches to take a look at and see more or less if there's any discrepancies in that aspect, to figure out whether you're going to go through a HLR process appeal or you're going to go through a supplemental appeal. And that's extremely important. So that's the reason why we asked all the vets that are in the elite program to stay engaged and stay engaged often. The sooner that we can take a look at it, we can have that discussion between the vet and the coach. We're able to find a new path or actually continue going the path, but addressing it in a different manner. So it's very important that you actually reach out to your coach often.
I do want to add a few things to
Sure.
that. HLRs can only be done within the year of the decision. After
Yes.
the year, you can't HLR it. Supplementals, if you do it within the year, then that's when what Charles was referring to as far as back payment. But you have to do it within the year. After the year, you can always supplemental it, but
A new
the
start date.
yes, new start date. Um, you can't HLR and HLR, right? But you can always supplemental an HLR. All right. And then there is another form of appeal, the BVA, where you bring your case to. We don't assist veterans with that, but there is another form of appeal.
All right. What other questions we got here? So,
Please explain the elite program. Man, Thomas, if I could put it in just in the most simplest form, elite program is where you get uh, a coach that's going to give you strategy, education, medical evidence, or not give you medical evidence, but give you um, understanding of what type of medical evidence you may need. Right? Uh, you're going to get a coach that's going to have your back, have your six.
yeah. Not only
Allow
just
you
one.
allow you not to feel. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Not only just a coach, because
Hmm.
if I don't know something, I always bring you back to our team, and now you have
Correct.
basically a whole plethora of coaches.
Basically have the whole company behind it to try to
Yeah.
figure out the answer. Ultimately we learn as well. So, we have tons of coaches and different type of spectrums and fields in their past and knowledge. So basically we take that cumulative knowledge and basically find the answer. Once we find it, we disseminate that information to you. We want you to have the best chance of succeeding. If you succeed, we all succeed. So
Uh-huh.
that's extremely important when it comes down to that. So, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Henry, but you get the coach, not only just one coach, you get every coach here, of course, with your coach being the individual having that conversations with you, and then we just basically get the information to you. We're there with you step by step. If you get a denial letter, we interpret it. We make sure that we can give you the best educated information, allow you to make that decision in that aspect. So basically, you got tons of resources, whether it's through YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I mean, the information is out there. It's just how much
Uh-huh.
engaged you're going to be in your own claim.
Not only that, but again, the strategy. I think it was Coach DMAC that said one time, you can either get to 100 by one claim or have 27 10% to get to 100, right? So it's also the path of least resistance. There's a lot of vets that may come here and they're like, hey, I want to go after this one thing, but maybe there's a strategy to go to where you need to go to the
Hmm.
percentage that you deserve that's going to get you there a lot quicker and faster. um,
Definitely,
and I don't know who wouldn't want quicker and faster.
definitely. I would like to
um,
answer a question for Mike Patterson,
uh-huh.
coming in from North Carolina, and I got out in 2000. and I have a combined disability of 30%, and I can barely walk for my knees and my lower back. My combined is 30, and I believe I should be higher. All right. So there's for me looking at it, there's a lot of stuff in it. If you are at 30% and you feel that you're underrated, have you gone to the doctor? Do you got medical evidence and paper trail to justify that, that increase that, you are at that severity level? That's one. Reach out to your coach. If you're not signed up, please sign up, because when I look at it, there's tons of growth there in reference towards what other conditions can stem as secondary to those. And it can be other stuff, and I'll throw examples, radiculopathy, neuropathy, whatever conditions you may have. But remember, it has to be true to you. These are not things that we're going to put in your frame of thought. Is that you have to provide that medical evidence so we can see where that link is at, in that aspect, and then we can take a look at other things to be able to move forward that are secondary to those. So, with
Yeah.
your particular question, there's room to grow there, brother. It's just a matter of signing up. Sign up, talk to a
Medical
coach.
evidence, medical
Yeah,
evidence, medical evidence.
definitely.
Hmm. What is the difference between a denial and 0%? Well, a denial is you didn't meet the criteria to get it service connected. 0% it is service connected, but it's there's probably the
Doesn't meet
the
the
rating
criteria to be. Yeah.
of a certain rating. Yeah. So I look at VA claims, not insider VA claims in the whole. I look at it in two parts. Service connection is about the past. Who's responsible for this situation, this condition that you have, and then your rating is about the present. What condition, where you're at as far as your rating, that puts you in that certain percentage.
Hmm.
So if you get something service connected, it can lead to other conditions, right? Maybe you have a, I don't know, I'm just throwing something out. Tinnitus at 0%, that can lead to something else.
Correct.
Can lead to migraines, or maybe mental health. But if you don't have it service connected at all, you can't connect nothing to it because it's not service connected. So, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people get confused that 0% means nothing. It means a
no,
lot,
I,
when I
I've
look
had
at
a
it, because
I
it's
had a
room for
vet go all the
growth.
way to 100 with 0.
Yeah, it's room for growth.
Mhm.
All right, so we have please forgive me, Usuk mine, for what I've been previously denied. That is now under PACT Act. Do I resubmit or reopen my claim? It says Tucson served in Desert Shield and Desert Storm, 20% for tinnitus and gastro. In that particular case, I'll be quite honest, you have to take a look at the denial letters. That's one. That's something that I would definitely talk to a coach, because that's a little bit more intricate when you're dealing with appeals. I just can't give you an answer. Every case is on a case by case basis. Can it be readdressed? Absolutely so. But that's something that has to be looked at with a coach, and you can have that conversation and explain your thought process as well as the coach, and then that way you can get that guidance of what is the best path moving forward in that aspect.
Yeah. Mr. Hello, if you file a claim, does the VA test you slash check you out for everything you literally claimed? They have the right to. So if you file for IBS secondary to mental health, they have the right to check you out for the mental health because it's a primary condition.
Right.
Um, yeah. And then obviously, of course, the IBS.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got a Thomas Green turned down for Patriot Claims Act, claims 3 times, currently at 60%. What can I do? It's kind of like the same thing that I provided with Mr. Mine. Make sure you reach out to a coach. Those denial letters have to be looked at. Once again, those denial letters for us is telling us the pathway on how to move forward. So there's going to be some verbiage in there that may not be understood by your average person, but the regular, like the coaches that regularly see these denials, are able to decipher a lot of this information to be able to actually find the best pathway moving forward. So if you haven't done so already, please reach out to a coach, sign up to the Elite program, and hopefully let's get you moving and get you up north over 60.
Mhm.
All right. Back issues. Okay, so let me go here. Craig Henry Sr. Must be your brother, Henry. I've I've been a police officer for 30 years. I've had foot, ankle, knee, and back issues since the Air Force. I always thought these benefits were for war veterans with PTSD. That is incorrect. Every case is on a case by case basis, but if you're having issues with your ankle, knee, and back, and that's something that you ended up receiving treatment or some type of LOD from service, doesn't necessarily mean that is completely associated with just war veterans. You can get injured while in service, while you're carrying your regular duties. So once again, you're going to hear this often. Every case is on a case by case basis. And the best way to address these things is by having that personal one on one strategy call to be able to talk about these things in a more personal manner. So then that way these things can be addressed.
I do want to talk about that real quick, just
Sure.
briefly, like in overall. Like PTSD is a mental health claim,
Hmm.
and foot, ankle, knees, toes, and all that. That's more physical, right? So the two separate things. But PTSD, just so we understand, it's a mental health claim where it's directly connected to a verifiable event. So it's something that you witness, um, something that you went through, something that you experienced that caused you trauma, that you're still reliving now. Um, you're still dealing with it at the moment. So they're two separate things as far as PTSD and the foot, ankle, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
You said that, and it reminds me of the song.
Yes, that's why I did that.
Okay.
Denial letter for tinnitus, even though I wasn't exam missed appointment. Maybe that's why you was denied because you missed the appointment. I don't know if I'm understanding that correctly.
All right. I have one, Brian Lovelady. This says, I know that there's not a magical number, but how long do you need to complain to the VA healthcare about an issue for it to be considered persistent to the examiner or rater? There's so many factors in that. First of all, if you are having issues, outside of the VA, VA claim aspect, you should be receiving treatment. Is very important. That's why those benefits are there. That's one. And number two, it's very hard to say whether how long you need to complain because let's say, for example, a particular condition after, let's say, doing, I'm going to use an example, let's say x-rays or MRIs, that the medical evidence itself can actually validate the reasoning why it is service connected, you may not need to make many complaints about it. So every case is on a case by case basis. And that is the reason why we always preach go to the doctor. If something is bothering you, make sure you complain about it. And if it's not right, receive that treatment that you're supposed to. All that medical evidence will fall into place.
Um, we have to understand that doctors are not here to help us get compensated. They're not here for your
Hmm.
claim. So another thing I always push on my vets is when you go into that hospital, that clinic, put the claims to the side. Worry about you. Worry about your health. You advocate for yourself a little bit differently when you walk into that hospital, as opposed when you're like concerned. Okay, is this enough for my claim? Am I gonna say the right things for my claim? Forget the claim. Worry about
Hmm.
yourself. Worry about your health. Simultaneously, you're gonna get the evidence needed for your claim. Um, and just go in there. Tell your doctor, hey, look, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm struggling with. If it's at the VA, I always what I personally did with my claim is a week after I went to the doctor, I pulled my blue burn report and I made sure that what was said between the
Absolutely.
um and then from there go on, and if it's missing, send your doctor a private message. Hey doc, just want to make sure that we're we're on the same page about my treatment and stuff. Because everything that you write to your doctor goes into your medical records, and everything that they respond back goes into your medical records.
Hmm.
So, focus on your health, and you'll see that simultaneously, you guys are going to get the evidence needed for your claim.
Yeah, that's very important. It's a very delicate balance of when you're going for your health care, and also your benefit aspect. So, the best thing that I can usually tell the vets is when you go there for your health care, make sure that you're concentrating on what are those issues that, that are affecting you, in that aspect, and try to keep them separate. One's going to be benefit health affairs, and the other one is veterans benefit affairs. So you make sure that when you go there for your health, it's for your health, and make sure you
Uh,
make those complaints. And like Henry said, remember they're human too. So, if you go back and you take a look at your Blue Button Health Report and that dialogue is not really there in its entirety, make sure you reach back out, using the Blue Button Health Report, and you can actually go there and
yeah.
more or less engage that conversation of what you said or might have not said, so there can be some clarity. And then that way you can start building evidence with that as well, which is going to be extremely important.
Um, Sam, I am a snowbird in Florida now till end of April. I'm preparing to book my psych evaluation appointment. My VA records are in Rochester, New York. Let's go. And why? When I ask to select my state, which one should I? Sam, you would choose the state that you're going to be geographically located in when you have your exam. So if you have in your exam
In Florida.
from now to April, it's Florida. If it's after April, then it'll be in the state of New York.
Hmm.
It's just wherever you're geographically located at.
That is the law. So whatever mental health eval, you have to be within that state. Like if you're going in person, even if
Yeah,
it's virtual,
yeah,
you do not want to put yourself in a situation where they're not going to validate that mental health exam.
hmm,
So be honest and be forthcoming. So if you are in a state, and let's say, for example, you're getting a provider for another state, I highly suggest that you do not do that. You will jeopardize your claim process. Make sure
yeah,
you are in the state that you are physically in, that provider's in. So if you didn't know that, now you know that is the law. So that's the best way to, if you do it inappropriately, to have your claim denied.
yeah. And Sam, that is the goal, to be a snowbird.
Don't we all? All right. Let me see. It has to be Q now. I should I submit those private medical records? Okay, so let's hopefully you can answer this for Steve Mann. I submitted a Nexus letter and an enhanced DBQ, but not my private medical records. Should I submit those private medical records? I am currently in in an ACE evaluation process. Uh,
So
Go ahead, Henry.
I don't know. Should I submit those private medical records? Sure. I mean, medical evidence is medical evidence, but an ACE exam is still a CMP exam. It's just that everything that you submitted is enough medical evidence for them not to schedule you in for an in-person CMP, compensation and pension exam. So what ACE means is accepted clinical evidence, um, and especially if you submitted it with a DBQ, the form that gets filled out at the CMP exam is the DBQ, and if you submitted it, then it's like, why is the VA going to pay for someone to, have you come in?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that's something that I'll be quite honest. I would probably talk to a coach if you haven't talked so already. What would be the best route? But I'll be honest, looking at an ACE exam, I would probably let it take its course and
yeah.
then just go from there. And I would not try to create any more uh, hiccups or possible hiccups that can be caused by providing new evidence. So I would just let it sit as it lay and then wait for the response and then go from there. You may be surprised.
And if you guys do decide to sign up with us, and you guys want to sign up with either one of us, either Charles. I mean, I don't know who would want to sign up with Charles over me. Like, if you had a choice, why would you pick Charles over me? Just kidding, just kidding.
It's all good. It's all good.
Our links are gonna pop up here. But yeah, guys, it would be an honor to either one of us to be able to help you guys, especially the fact that we've both been in the journey, both been clients of this organization, to see what it's done for us. It would be an honor to be
Yeah,
able to help you guys.
feeling is mutual. All
Yeah.
right, for Jim Eichmann, my HLR is at 384 days. Once again, everything is on a case by case basis. The only thing that I can tell you is, make sure you follow up. You can call the 1-800-827-1000. Talk to a representative, find out if there's anything that is needed. Maybe they might have sent you some type of request, you didn't receive it. But make sure that you follow up every so often, so you can be updated. Sometimes the system is not updated in their portal. You might be getting one information in the portal, and in reality, it's at a different stage internally. So it's always good to check up, follow up on your claim. Remember, this is for you, so it's
Uh-huh.
extremely important that you follow up in that aspect.
Bill had an in-person CMP exam in December. Now they scheduled another not in-person CMP exam. Um, it's it, it's case by case, right? Maybe there's something missing. Maybe there was an error made when they did the first exam. Um, there's really no way of telling, but that's usually the reason why. Maybe they need more evidence, which is why the VA is going to pay again for another CMP exam. They wouldn't do that if there wasn't a reason for it. um, and then this is just my personal preference. When asked, if you ever ask, would you like in person or virtual? I like in person exams. I know they could be a bit more nerve wracking, but again, this is just Henry's personal opinion. I like it because in person exams, they get to read your body language. You're in the room with this person, right? You're not looking over a video monitor, but you're in the room. They could read your body language, see you sweat, cry, cringe your fist, or fidget. They also focus directly on you, right? So, me personally, I like in-person exams, but yeah. And then
Well,
we also put in the chat. I'm sorry. We also put in the chat the VA's um, direct number.
mhm.
Save that number, because usually when you're coach or in these classes, when we say, contact the VA, that's the number
Yeah,
to contact the VA at, is 800-827-1000.
absolutely. Definitely save it. It's going to be very important, especially if you're going through the process. That's where you're going to get your information from somebody that can open up your case and take a look at it and tell you where it's at, and whatever stage it is. Or if you need any documentation, I know I've been pretty successful that when I've asked for it, it's been emailed to me while I've been on the phone. So it's going to be an important number to have. Make sure you use it, save it. It's important in this process.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look. I'm taking a look at some of the previous ones. Here we go. It says David Hardrick. Good morning, U.S. Air Force, 1965 to 1969. How increased benefits for a Vietnam vet with health issues related to service in Agent Orange war zones, suffering from stroke and loss of sight in one eye. He was awarded only 10% for his service related injuries. My heart goes out to a lot of Vietnam vets. My uncle was a Vietnam vet. So for me, this is very important and touchy. So the best thing that I can tell you, it's going to be very important that you do reach out to a coach. You can provide your documentation and basically start taking a look on what is the best angle to assess this and address it. So then that way you can get the rating you deserve in this aspect, especially being a Vietnam vet. Also, be open to look at it from a different perspective, in the aspect of we're going to take a look at the path of least resistance uh, towards disabilities that you may have and not looked at it from that perspective. So, very important in your particular case, Mr. Hardrick. Please reach out to a coach. I feel that you're going to have a lot of success with that.
Yeah. And it takes some time to put, the strategy together because again, every person is different, the journey that they're in, the medical evidence that they have. So just understand that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not like, oh, I signed up with a coach today and then I get to 100 next week. No, it takes some
Correct.
time. Not everyone has the proper medical evidence. So then we got to go back, get it, come back, strategize, put it all together, send it. Might get a denial, might not. Then we re-engage, celebrate, we go back at it. Patience, man,
Yeah,
patience, and not giving up is the key to all of this. And I know it's tough, right? I know it's tough, but it's also understanding where you're at and how to get there.
definitely. We just continue with you chopping that tree down. We continue chopping the tree down and continue until like Coach Henry Sosa said, we get to that point of celebration. You met that goal. And that's basically where we all celebrate. We're all excited. We're all vets, so
Uh-huh.
we're happy to celebrate with you in that aspect.
Yeah.
The conversation that I had before with veteran before, where I have another one where it says veteran Carla Green Batty, where it says I was stationed in Jordan. We took radioactive showers. Now I have alopecia. They are saying that Jordan is not a top area. Okay. Uh, Best thing that I can tell you once again, you might want to reach out to a coach because it can be looked at from a different perspective or a different
Hmm.
disability that may allow you to get a higher increase or a higher rating in that aspect. So sometimes I think this was one of John's podcasts that we have revenge claims, which is basically claims that we feel that we need to be validated on because we know it happened there. And in reality, we're so focused on that we don't really take a look at anything outside of that spectrum. Our goal is to make sure that you get compensated or give you the education to get compensated for those disabilities that you deserve. So our goal is to educate you in every aspect, not only those claims where you feel that you need to be justified on, but any other claims that you are entitled to. So be open to be coachable and teachable.
Yeah.
And if you are, trust me, you'll be successful at it. So please feel free to reach out to a coach, sign up with us. Definitely looking forward in helping you out. Uh, you know, that's stuff that we could address, but we have to take a look at it once you start that strategy call, and we can take a look on what angle, what strategy to move forward.
Um, one of the newest questions, Hunter. I have diagnosed depression diagnosed. Um, I've only been out of the army for 6 months. Thank you for your service, brother. But I have have had such a such eval next week. What should I expect? Um, expect to be asked, questions in regards to your condition. The one thing I can advise is be honest, be vulnerable. And when I say be honest, I'm not saying it because you're a liar. I'm saying it because you're a vet. And us as vets, we tend to be a bit more reserved and walk around with our medals and all that stuff. But when you're in there, mental health for a mental health eval, they're there to ask you questions. So you have to be open and honest and vulnerable. Let them into your world. Don't hold anything back. What you don't share, they don't know. What they don't know, they can't rate you for. So that's what I would say. They're gonna expect to have a lot of questions asked and just answer it truthfully.
Definitely. A lot of times as veterans, we're just so used to that norm. That is our normal. So we don't see anything outside of that. As I've been able to go through my journey, actually, I've been able to see a lot of things that has affected me from past or current that I never looked at before. And now that I'm able to do so, it's allowed me to be more successful in my journey, in my path. And that's the
Yeah,
reason why we say, be vulnerable. Be extremely vulnerable, with those topics that are uncomfortable. And usually if you're uncomfortable, you're in the right spot.
I agree.
All right, what do we got? Take a look here. I don't want to double up on your questions. All right, let me see. Can you go name it?
Want to make sure we throw in the chat. We also throw in the link if you guys decide to sign up today. And you get a conversation with one of our representatives, our veteran ambassadors. Just have a conversation, see if you guys are a good fit, if we're a good fit for each other. It's a free call, it doesn't hurt. Also, please go on Amazon, or there's going to be a link provided. Pick up Brian's book, You Serve, You Deserve, because you guys deserve it. It's a bunch of knowledge, a bunch of information that Brian took his time to put together and lay it out for you guys. So please, if you don't do anything, at least do that. Go pick up that book, get yourself some knowledge so you can know how to process this whole claim and do it the right way. Trust me, it'll save you a whole bunch of years of frustration. Do you include personal statement for mental health along with telemedical when sending a claim? Rusty, it all depends. It all depends on the situation, but I always like to let the doctors do the writing.
Yeah,
That's me
most definitely.
personally. I like to let the doctors do the writing, let them be the ones to write on my behalf. Now, if there's something that needs to be said, maybe that wasn't said in the doctor's report, but what you don't want to do is the validity of that telemedical document or any doctor's document for it to be tainted with your words. So make sure that your words are aligning with the doctor's words, because then it's like, okay, who do I believe? If your doctor's saying that you have 3 migraines a month and you're saying you have 7 migraines a week, and it's like, okay, who's saying the right? Who's speaking the truth here?
Correct. And we're getting close to that time frame, so I'm gonna ask one more question. For Hunter Whitley, I have depression diagnosed. I have only. I'm assuming he's saying I have only been out the army for 6 months, but I have such eval next week. What should I expect in that aspect? So that's something that, like I said, what should you expect? Ben's answer again is have that conversation with your coach, and they'll give you more or less the symptomology in reference towards how to verbalize yourself well and coach you well. Reference towards, CMP exam, expect that you're going to be asked about whatever you've been diagnosed with. You have to be able to be open to verbalize yourself and be vulnerable and start talking about those uncomfortable topics that you need to talk about that are related to service in that aspect. So that's what you can expect in that aspect, and just be
Um,
vigilant.
just quick shout out, Jose. How you doing, brother? Um, hope you're doing well. Craig Henry Sr. I have an initial evaluation scheduled for February 9th at a civilian VA contract facility. I feel unprepared after this call invite. I don't know if you signed up with us, Craig, or not, but I hope if you're not, sign up. We have a week to try to get you, again, not prepared, but at least feel confident and feel
Yeah,
that you're ready.
definitely.
Or read up on our blogs, watch some of our videos in regarding to your claim. I don't know what
Yeah,
you submitted for, but be honest, vulnerable, and you got this. Pick up our book. Pick up Brian's book.
yeah.
Next Wednesday we'll have another live class like this one. If any questions that are thrown in the chat, we'll do our best to try to answer it offline. But Charles, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
Like always, un placer como siempre. Always a pleasure.
Igualmente, igualmente.
And I wanted to add also, if there are any veterans that their preferred language is to be in Spanish, we do have Spanish speaking vets that are able to help them, whether you are inside the US or outside, for example, like Puerto Rico. We are here to help you out and help you in that process in your language, so it's easier to understand. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart, since I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico. So definitely want to reach out to them. And also to Beverly, just want to say hi. I know she shouted out, so I want to give you a shout out back. Appreciate you. Love you dearly. With that being said,